It's just still recording, right? So today, you did it. You did the intro. I get the beer truck. I bought it. There it is. It's time to do another episode of Tears of Beers. Do you need a scream? You want to scream into those faces for a second?
From the Denovo Realty Studios in sunny Brevard County, Florida, the most important podcast on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, Denovo Realty Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tears Over Beers, episode 5. And today,
6 if you count the hidden episode that
will never ever get released to the public. Today we have a multitude of topics, so let's go ahead and jump on in.
Cheers,
Ian.
Yeah.
What makes you feel old these days? Now that you're 20, 30, 29, 29?
Yeah, I'm 20.
29 or 30?
20 drinking beer on the internet at my office.
So what makes 30. You feel old?
What makes me feel old? Well, I broke my back last year.
You've been like, the rules. Anyways, what makes you feel old?
I broke my back.
You do hobble horribly. It's really embarrassing.
I'm all better now. I got an injection like an old person.
Oh, good.
Hangovers make me feel old.
Yeah.
Drinking beer making my stomach hurt makes me feel old.
Okay.
What about you?
The rap music now, I have no idea what they're saying. And
they're not saying anything. So
that's what I'm saying, but I feel like that's what my parents said about when I listened to rap music that they didn't.
And that's what their parents said about the Beatles.
Yes. So that makes me feel really old because it's literally. So on to more serious topic or not. What are some changes that you think would benefit the real estate industry?
I'm gonna take it.
Thanks a lot, Adam Woodworth. We're up to a good start.
Damn it.
Anyways, what are some things you'd like to see change or suggested changes to 2020's real estate industry?
I would like to see people stop using their phones for pictures, for one. The other day I was looking at a listing and I swear, before he took each picture, he on the lens and then took the picture with all the lights off. It's like, buddy, you want to sell it, do something.
Yeah, truth.
What do you got?
I think I've talked about this before in the past, but the grander problem is to make it a little more restrictive on the ability to get your license.
Yeah. Literacy tests would be
tests, but I think just in general making it a little more difficult to obtain your real estate license, whether or not 100-question multiple choice is the appropriate thing for being able to.
I think that is such a huge fiduciary responsibility we have to our clients
word.
To let anybody who can. It's a 48-hour course.
62? 60? How many hours?
No, that's I think it's 48.
63.
Wait, 48, 63.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's not enough.
To sit through the class where they give you all the answers to the test, you pass the test, they give you as many chances now to pass that test.
Yes.
And then the state test
50 times.
It's like you can take it as many times as you want. And that's it. But the problem is, well, not the problem, but the solution is to become proficient and successful in business. You can't be one of these agents who half-ass everything and really aren't.
For sure.
Really aren't totally committed. I always tell people if you want to get your real estate license, you better be full-time.
And it waters down the whole industry, which creates a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But I think that's the nature of it, and I think
another
associations make money off things. And,
another thing I would like to see change is that people would stop discounting commission or overpricing a listing just to get it, because that doesn't help anybody, especially all of us. We're all together in it as agents, so
for sure
we should take care of each other a little better.
Amen to that. Agreed. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you kind of value the most in your good clients?
The things I value most in my good clients is their understanding and their value of my opinion and their respect of my position as a professional and their position as a consumer.
But I think for me, and it's along the same lines, but the ability to see the bigger picture, I think, is, and it gets clients that do that can kind of take a step away from whatever situation it is and look at the grand outcome of it versus the immediate emotional response. Because the thing is that, and that we have to also understand as agents, it's probably going to be the most stressful situation for that person at that time. They're moving. They're, first of all, money.
I've had sellers decide not to sell just because they were so stressed out with the process.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not. Don't try to do it on your own because it's so hard.
And if you can kind of like step back and take some of the emotion out of it, and the people that are able to do that are just like the end result, because that's like for us, like that, we're doing that anyways because maybe we're not, we're less emotionally involved in it's not our house, but we're, we can see like, okay, if you do this, the grand scheme, your result ends up better.
Yeah.
So, next note on that. Oh. That was me.
That was you.
Anyways, what are your, from either you or the client, some of your favorite construction mishaps?
Okay, so probably my favorite one is when I was doing my house. In my kitchen, I extended my kitchen into like the breakfast nook. Mm-hmm. So there was a light over the nook and a light over the kitchen, and they were both on their own three-way switch. And I wanted them to be together on their own switch, and then I added lights over my bar, like my that whole long peninsula that I built. Mm-hmm. I wanted lights on their own three-way switch. And there's this long switch panel of 4 switches in the kitchen that I had to pull up into the attic, reroute around, and rewire. Very confusing. And when I'm up there, my house is built with metal studs, and I impaled my calf, and I'm bleeding everywhere. It hurt really bad. There's fiberglass in my wound. I'm gushing blood, trying to remember and label. It had to be, 4 switches. It had to be 20 wires to each. It was insane.
Call a professional electrician.
I'm bleeding everywhere. I know how to do it, but I was just it was the summer. I was miserable. I was bleeding in the attic, in the dark. That was my biggest mishap.
That's a pretty bad one.
And still, I have outlets that don't work. Don't tell my insurance company.
Or your inspector when you sell it. But anyways.
I'll fix it by then. I'm never going to sell it.
For me, I think me and paint have a really bad relationship. Because I've I just think of paint, I'll paint that myself. But I've had, I think my favorite one was at the Gentle Breeze house. And I always get paint absolutely everywhere and then ruin things.
Same.
But I had the entire gallon of paint. And I went into a room.
You're just carrying around a can.
I was carrying around a gallon because I was doing the trend. So I put the lid on. Anyways, short story, I put the lid on, with which I thought was on, but it wasn't on. I spilled the entire gallon of paint all over the floor. And it was vinyl floor that I just put down.
Oh my God!
And but it was an entire gallon of paint. And
Did you bring the pressure washer inside?
I was just so mad. I couldn't when I did it. I just I was so angry that I laughed because I was like, I hate myself.
That's all. Every time I do something like that, I used to get mad, and I think having kids gave me a lot more patience. I just laugh.
Yeah.
But I have a funny similar story. So my mom was painting her bedroom. This is a long time ago. She was painting it dark red, right? Obviously, that was a long time ago because who does that?
Dark and ominous.
Red F. So my mom is standing on the nightstand, painting, cutting
on the nightstand
because she couldn't get the stepladder out for whatever reason.
Sometimes you're in a hurry. This nightstand works.
I hope you're watching. Slipped and fell, hit the dresser, broke an old crystal picture frame.
Barbara.
Spilled the gallon of red paint all over the white carpet.
Oh.
It looked like a murder scene, and she had a bruise on her leg. It was this big. It wasn't. They don't even call it a bruise. They call it a contusion or something.
Yes.
It turned yellow and green. It was awful. But it was really funny. So it looked like a murder scene. Use a stepladder.
On that same house which is why I have a new car now. On that same house, I was in the rain, and you already know the story. But I was dropping off an interior door, and the dumpster was in the middle of the driveway. I did the hard part of reversing around the dumpster, and I was in a hurry, of course. Went to get back in the car after I dropped the door off. Clear sight ahead of me, right? So I pull forward, but I had cut such a hard angle backing out that you know the damage to my car. Ruined the entire door.
Dragged the door across the dumpster and the rear quarter panel.
Quoted for $5,000 to repair.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so that
Sounds
was great.
About right.
Lost 10%, 25% of my margin on that house from doing that.
But you didn't fix it and traded the car for pretty much retail.
And I was so mad that I just said, I'm going to get a new car.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Sorry to all my body shop friends. He did not come and fix it.
Anyways, what are your thoughts on the multi-level recruitment, Mary Kay, recruiting strategies?
I want to hear yours first before I share mine.
Okay.
Because you're in a position to offer it or not.
Yeah. So I think that having an incentive to bring on agents is a positive thing for a brokerage. However, I think there's a fine line between that and making the focus of things off of that onto making your majority of your income off of
more agents is not always a healthy
and thing. And if it's like, and I think that happens when you have seven different levels of recruitment, and so I think there's
trickle up economics.
There's good and bad things about it, but I think the problem is that I see too much of that becoming more of a focus than helping agents by doing their business better.
Distractions are a big thing in this business because when you're
shiny objects,
when you're making your own schedule and you are 100% responsible for your own production, it's easy to get distracted because it's like, I sold that place last month and
for sure.
I got this big buyer or seller, whatever, like I'll be fine, and you slack off and go to the Bahamas or whatever. Distractions are really easy. Holidays, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, it's
all coming
New
up
Year's
right now.
All coming up. Everybody's very distracted. Elections. A lot of distractions, but I think that the multi-level recruitment strategy promotes a manpower growth without a production growth. It promotes. I think that's the problem. Yes. I think the biggest problem of all, and you've lived it more than I have at Cole & Banker, which is like this enormous place. It promotes poor office culture, which, thank you, we have this great office culture. I think as a team, sitting down at a long table with everybody who works here, and we have a really great time, and literally everybody gets along. It's a beautiful thing, and it's nice to watch it, because I was first, remember that, to watch it sort of grow around, my joining here in February, and it's awesome.
You can't create it if your objective is to just take to bring in as many as you can. And you're not selective.
My last office, there were some people there who brought a bit of a negative energy to the office, and I think it sort of held me back from spending time there.
Yeah, for sure.
Going to group events. There was a lot of people there that I loved. They were great, but poor office culture promotes poor sales and promotes...
In the multi-level thing, I think can definitely do that.
It's, if you're just after getting that person to sign up, who are you getting to sign up?
Yeah.
What impact
and it creates the wrong motivation for bringing them in the first place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amen. Yeah, I think the motivation should be to bring up the office in not just sales.
And not just,
but in environment as well as sales and growing the business.
Amen.
Because we all have a reputation that all ties back to the office reputation. And if that sucks, we all suck too.
Absolutely.
So it's got to be
good. That's good words. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Episode 5/6 in the books. Thanks for watching, y'all, and we'll see you on number 6 or 7.
Now go!